Happy Saturday, and thank you for joining us here on ABC 10. I'm Austin Castro. Let's begin now with a check of your weekend weather with Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods.
Top 3 things that we're tracking into our weekend outlook and beyond. First and foremost is going to be that patchy morning fog on Saturday. We'll see another repeat on Sunday, a little bit cooler to wrap us up for the weekend. Then we get going on our Thanksgiving week. Most of it is going to be dry, but there is that chance of some late week showers. So let's take it step by step here into our Saturday. We see that morning fog, afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds. Our sunrise 6:56, sunset at 4:48. So it's pretty early in the day. And then we'll get to those cold overnight lows once again dropping into the 40s. So largely our Sunday, a near repeat, a little bit cooler into our forecast. A statewide precipitation. It has been a rather soggy November. Numbers don't really tell the story until you look at how far ahead of pace we are throughout the entire state. So we've seen multiple atmospheric rivers as well as just cold weather systems coming on through. So our numbers are really off to a great start since the beginning of the water year on October 1st. Southern California in on the action as well. So many times it's that line of demarcation right along I-80, wet in the north, dry to the south, but even Santa Barbara over 8 inches ahead of what we normally see this time of year, and a likely wetter scenario for Southern California all the way into the end of November and beginning of December. We'll see a little touch of that in the forecast coming into play. In the meantime, we're dry heading into this weekend. Good travel weather, by the way, for all of the Thanksgiving travel that may be happening up and down the state. The only little ripple in that is going to be the fog issues up and down I-5. Chilly morning ahead for Thanksgiving. Great for cooking weather if you want to open up the windows and let in some of that fresh air. And then we'll start tracking the opportunity of showers coming back into the outlook deeper in the week. Under our ridge of high pressure, we'll keep it pretty much with a persistent weather pattern. Areas of morning fog, mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon, and very stable temperatures through the forecast. That low pressure system that we had been tracking throughout the week finally moving its way off to the east. Now we will see a little bit of that storm track moving into the Pacific Northwest. So if your travel plans take you north on I-5 throughout Thanksgiving week, just watch out for hit and miss showers coming our way. High pressure starts to break down, and here comes the first opportunity of some of that wet weather on Friday. Now it's kind of coming and going throughout our Saturday and Sunday forecast. That's one of those situations. Stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of changes that unfold with that weather system coming in. Highs are in the 40s for our Saturday forecast after morning lows near 20, 50s down the hill. We're in the 60s across the coast, and we'll carry that all the way inland through the capital region and the northern San Joaquin Valley. A near repeat of this forecast for the next couple of days as well. We're dry in the mountains all the way through Wednesday of next week, as well as for the foothills and the coast. And I'll look at your extended forecast for the next 3 days. We've got highs close to the upper 50s to low 60s. We'll see that continue into the outlook for Thanksgiving week. And then we'll track those showers by next Friday.
Moving now to Roseville, where the city is celebrating a new sports venue. The Placer County Soccer Complex held its ribbon cutting yesterday. The complex features 10 lighted synthetic turf areas and spaces designed for field sports, including soccer, field hockey, flag football, and more. There are also 2 plazas, an accessible playground, and public art installations. Roseville Parks and Recreation says the complex is also going to bring a boost to the local economy. It's expected to attract hundreds of thousands of athletes and fans each and every year. Officials estimate it will bring in $15 million annually. That first big tournament is set for April, where teams from across the country will compete in quad ball. Waymo, the self-driving taxi service, now has the green light for the Sacramento area. The DMV approved the service for testing in Sacramento, Solano, and Yolo counties. The service already runs in LA and San Francisco. The DMV permit allows Waymo's Zeekr RT and Jaguar I-Pace in their fleets to operate fully autonomously in the expanded areas. The company tells us it will deploy in San Diego next year. It is still unclear when Waymo will launch in our area. Now to an ABC 10 exclusive. Our Laura Painter sat down with 2 federal employees struggling to pay bills, both worried about what is next.
How can anybody live with that, you know? And then we're still coming day by day, we're still coming in like all our shifts, you know, just working hard, and then we're still not getting paid.
I felt so down, yeah. I came into work, not even motivated to work, but my mind is sick. What am I gonna do? Our savings is almost exhausted. I don't want to use, to my credit card to the max. No, yeah.
Right.
So it's hard.
For airport employees like Austin Lee and Jeanette Tabarata, this Thanksgiving is hitting hard.
Well, I already told my children, worst comes to worst, let's just go to church to give thanks to the Lord, but not maybe having a festive day, no.
They say they haven't been paid for the work they've been doing since the longest government shutdown in U.S. history started. More than 50 days later, they still haven't been paid despite showing up to work.
Tell us about the toll this is taking on you and your family.
It's pretty sad because me and my wife, she works part-time. You're still working, but you're still pulling from your savings just to pay little things like groceries, gas, little small events. You still got to pay this and that, and it's tough.
They say they're struggling to pay rent and are cutting back on groceries, gas, and their energy use to keep their bills and expenses down while their income remains questionable.
The government shutdown ended at 43 days. Before TSOs, they've been living the shutdown for 52 days. And the agency should keep their promise of pay for our employees. Despite
the challenges, they say they'll still show up to work and are leaning on each other to stay positive.
You can't take life for granted, So that's why, just day by day, just take it easy. Always have a smile on your face.
As that Thanksgiving travel rush begins, the workers say they were told they could be paid by Monday. The U.S. Office of Personnel Management says as far as when those workers could get paid, it would be, quote, as soon as possible. We've also reached out to the Department of Homeland Security and are waiting to hear back. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning. The Georgia Republican posting on social media saying she will leave the U.S. House in just a few weeks. Once a staunch supporter of President Trump, Taylor Greene has recently fallen out of favor with him. In recent weeks, she criticized him for being too focused on foreign policy and not doing enough domestically. She also was among the initial small group of House Republicans supporting the release of the Epstein files back when President Trump was previously against it. President Trump also recently rescinded his support of Greene and said he'd support a Republican challenger to her congressional seats.
I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me.
Taylor Greene was well known for being outspoken and often voicing polarizing points of view. She was first elected to Congress in the November 2020 election.
Well, hello, beautiful people. I am Kevin John, and it's about that time that we get down with some high school football. Welcome to the semifinals of the section playoffs. Every single team playing has the opportunity to punch their ticket to the section championships next weekend. Now, as with every week, we kick this thing off with our ABC10 game of the week, and boy, do we have a good one. Matt George, take it away.
Good evening, I'm Matt George. Welcome to the semifinals in the Sac Joaquin Section High School Football Playoffs. Tonight's game of the week is in Division I, the Grant Pacers and the Oak Ridge Trojans battling with a trip to the section championship game on the line. You talk about two absolutely iconic programs in the Sac Joaquin section. Every time the Grant Pacers and Oak Ridge Trojans meet, something special is bound to happen. This game tonight was no different. Only one team can win and punch their ticket to the Division I section title game at Hughes Stadium next week. The question is, will it be Carl Reed's Pacers or Casey Taylor's Trojans? To all my football fans out there that love defense, this was the game for you. Opening drive for Grant, running back Malachi Laverne breaks loose for a big run, but the ball is poked out of his arms for a fumble. Senior captain Jason Womack falls on it for Oak Ridge, who has relied on their incredible defense to win them games all season long. But the Grant Pacer defense isn't a pushover either. Oak Ridge sophomore quarterback Luke Tabor takes a shot downfield, and Grant junior Malachi Harris comes flying in for the interception. See, defensive backs can moss people too. In the second half now, this time it's senior Dez Duncan with the Pacer pick. This game was still scoreless well into the third quarter. But finally, the Trojans started moving the ball. Senior Tyler Andujar breaks out for a huge run, putting a team in the red zone for the first time in the game. And a few snaps later, Andujar finishes the job with the game's first touchdown. However, remember this moment because senior kicker Kyle Boker missed his first PAT of the season to keep the Oak Ridge lead at just 6 points. That would prove costly. The Grant Pacers had no choice but to get their offense going, and going it got. After marching all the way down into the red zone, Gary Tia takes the direct snap and fights his way in for 6 to tie the game, followed by a successful PAT, and suddenly the Pacers have the lead with just 10 minutes remaining in the game. Now, you know a game of this magnitude between these two programs had to have a little bit of drama. With less than 2 minutes remaining, the Trojans deep in Grant territory. The Pacers needed just one more stop on 4th down to essentially win the game, and they thought they got it. That is, until the chains came out to measure, and Oak Ridge was awarded the first down. As you can see, Grant head coach Carl Reed was not at all happy with the spot. And for good reason. That allowed Oak Ridge a new set of downs to get the ball just a little bit closer for Kyle Boker to have his shot at the ultimate redemption. After missing the PAT, with just 2 seconds to go, the game came down to the senior. From roughly 30 yards out, Boker stepped up, cool, calm, and collected, and buried the game winner to defeat Grant 9-7 and send the Trojans back to the section title game. After the celebrations, I caught up with the hero of the night and his head coach.
You know from the minute it left your foot it was
Yeah. I don't think many people know, but when you get contact as a kicker, you'll know if it's right down the middle, if it's short, or whatever. You kind of just know if you've been out there long enough.
Oh, he's awesome. Like I said, he's my TA in school too, so we're always talking. I got tremendous comment. I'll let him babysit my kids. You know what I'm saying? He's that good.
All right. Well, he's a good football player and a great babysitter. Thank you, Matt. We'll keep things going in Division I. Now, last week, the Folsom Bulldogs actually trailed at the end of the first quarter. But on Friday night, the Folsom Bulldogs came out and punched their competition in the mouth. We're heading to Folsom High School. The top-seeded Folsom Bulldogs hosting the 4th-seeded Monterey Trail Mustangs out of Elk Grove. We'll pick this one up early in the first quarter. Monterey Trail ball. Now, Caden Love throws a backwards pass. It's dropped in the backfield. That's a live ball, y'all. E.J. Coleman makes a wise decision, picks it up, and he's pushed out around the 5-yard line. Later on the drive, Folsom in the red zone. Ryder Lyons calls his own number. That's never a bad decision. Rock on with your bad self, Ryder. Folsom led 33-7 at the half. Now, I told you they came out and punched the opposition in the mouth. Give credit to Monterey Trail, though. They tried to hang in there. You see Nigel Flowers with the touchdown, but on this night, it was all Bulldogs. They go on to defeat Monterey Trail 54-14, which means this sets up a rematch of last year's Division I section championship as Folsom will face Oak Ridge. Next, we are heading to Granite Bay High School. We have an all-SFL showdown as the number 2 seed Granite Bay Grizzlies welcome in the 6th-seeded Rockland Thunder. We'll pick this one up in the third quarter. Rockland ball, Reeve Sloan with the short pass to Connor Bow. And Connor, you may take a bow. He gets in for the touchdown. Now, later in the quarter, Rockland back in the red zone. Reeve Sloan hands it off to Jared Linder, who pushes his way in for the touchdown. But back comes Granite Bay. Isaiah Ine takes the handoff, and just like people running to go see that new Wicked movie, Ine is gonna run that all the way to the house. Oh, he's so fun to watch run. Granite Bay would hang on to win this game, which means they punch their ticket to the section championship next weekend. Congratulations to the Grizzlies. Well, if you love offense, you're gonna love this next one. Now listen to this. In last week's game, 12 Bridges put up 71 points. Only thing is, they're going against an opponent on this evening, the East Union Lancers, and they also know a thing or two about putting up a lot of points. We're heading to Lincoln. It's always a vibe on the campus of 12 Bridges High School. I guess it was do-si-do theme on the night. Look at those cowboy hats. And you know what goes perfect with 12 Bridges football? The 12 Bridges Rib Cook-Off. Barbecue so good it'll make you want to scream hallelujah. Look at that tri-tip. If you're a vegetarian, look away. The Raging Rhinos hosting the mighty East Union Lancers at Manteca. We'll pick this one up in the first quarter, East Union ball. And this guy, JP Abreu, is a magician because you don't see him right now, right? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Now you see him. When he appears, he's racing 58 yards down the sideline for the East Union touchdown. Lancers would take a 13-7 lead at this time. They would later add to it. Now later in the first, Braden Kamara takes the handoff. And just like a teen running home on a Friday night to make curfew, Braden is going to run this all the way to the house. East Union will go up 21-7, but you know you can't hold a Raging Rhino down for long. Ensuing drive for 12 Bridges, Daniel Oamil Jr. takes the handoff, and watch Daniel's son wax on and wax off for a big game. Now later on the drive, 12 Bridges quarterback Connor Frontiera, he's taking matters into his own hands. He can't find anybody to pass, so watch him turn into a running back here. Oh, so saucy with it. He refuses to go down. Sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game, Connor. Later on the drive, 12 Bridges in the red zone, and just give the ball to Chase Walidko. He's more dependable than Allstate. He gets in for the 12 Bridges touchdown. This game will be a shootout. In the end, East Union goes on to shock 12 Bridges, winning this one 61-55. Shout out to the Raging Rhinos on a wonderful season, and East Union will play the winner of this next game right here. Congrats to the Lancers. Now staying in Division 4, we had a good one over in Roseville as the Tigers welcome in one of the most resilient teams in the Sac Joaquin section, the Houston Huskies. We're heading to Roseville High School and welcome to the Tiger Cage. It gets feisty in there. The third-seeded Huskies making the 100-mile trip from Stanislaus County to Roseville to take on the number 2-seeded Tigers. We'll pick this one up in the third quarter. Houston ball, Hudson Baldwin going to the air. The ball is tipped, and it's picked off by Dylan Gates. The Tigers are in business. Now later in the quarter, Houston back on the attack, and it's deja vu. Baldwin going to the air, and it's picked off by Gates again. That Dylan Gates guy is a certified ball hawk. That sets up Roseville in great field position. Tigers in the red zone, and Mason Cesnara, he's going to throw a bullet to Kenny McClure for the touchdown right there. Roseville up 22-7, but you know the Huskies ain't going down without a foul. Check out this play right here. We got a little razzle-dazzle from Coach King. Bryce McDaniel gets the ball on the end around. He's going to toss it downfield, and watch Titus Beers leap up and grab it like it's the winning lottery ticket. Hot diddly ding. That was on 4 defenders, mind you. Now later on the drive, Baldwin is going to hit McDaniel on a short pass again. Now, McDaniel doing everything he can to get into the end zone, but Roseville forces the fumble and recovers. They say defense wins championships in Roseville, able to stave off Houston's explosive offense. Tigers win this one 23-15. They will face 12 Bridges next week in the Division 4 Section Championship. Congrats to Roseville on the victory. All right, we're going to keep this show going. I'm not tired yet. In Division 5, the top-seeded Casa Roble Rams have just been mollywopping the competition, and at this point, I'm not convinced anyone is a threat to them in that division. Well, I guess we're going to see if the Lathrop Spartans are up for the challenge. Lathrop making the 80-mile journey to Orangeville to face the Rams in their house. We'll pick this one up late in the second quarter. Lathrop QB Darian Reno hands the ball off to the running back, but it's fumbled. And Casa's Eric Eaton picks it up, and Eaton is about to be eaten a touchdown as he takes us all the way back to the house. That was the first touchdown of the game. Casa would lead 7-0 at halftime to the third quarter now, and just like Sean Payton did in the Super Bowl, Lathrop kicks the onside to start the third, and they recover it. Now that would set up this touchdown run from Pablo Peña, We are now tied at 7. Now on the ensuing possession for Casa Roble, Jalen Barcinas takes the handoff, and just like people running to the Thanksgiving table next Thursday, Jalen is gonna run this all the way to the house. Casa Roble would go on to win this one 28-15. The Rams will face Sutter next weekend in the Division V Section Championships. Congratulations to Coach Horner and the Rams on an incredible victory out there. Well, guys, congratulations to all the teams who won on Friday night. And just remember, next week in our section championships at Sac City College, we'll have all of that for you. That's my time. You guys have yourselves a beautiful Saturday.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you to you for joining us here on ABC 10. I'm Austin Castro, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend.